Hey, what's up, guys? My movie mystics, my darlings. Hope you're having a great day. So, what do we got here? We got 9 reviews for the Fantasia International Film Festival, and I've seen 23 films. I saw 23 films for this festival. Um, I'm also going to have the rest of my New York Asian Film Festival reviews up for you tomorrow in a ranking sometime down the line, sometime in August. I'm not quite sure when. But these are films I saw at home. So I saw them on as screeners, so generally Vimeo links, watched on this very laptop that I'm streaming off of. So without any further ado, I guess we could just get to it. And I will preface, though, before I start, that the first two, The Bearded Girl and The Well, I have interviews attached to. So I interviewed both the leads of the films and as well as the directors of the films. And then I also got an interview for this one. Didn't get an interview for that 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 one. Got an interview for this one. Posted it on Monday. Didn't get an interview for this one. But there was never the plan to do an interview with these people. Dog of God. Death does not exist. That's a long story. Fell through, though. Hellcat fell through. No plans for this one. No plans for this one. The press day was happening while I was on the train. This one was impossible, but I was good. I was confirmed until I wasn't to do an interview with the director of that film. And now you know the backstory with all these reviews or all my relationship with these films. Anyways, okay, let's talk. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. All right. Wait, I'm just gonna take a sip of coffee. I don't know if The Bearded Girl is really qualified to be a Fantasia Fest film. For me, this is a weird drama or comedic film, and it doesn't resemble a genre film to me, which is a specialization of the festival. I am in no position to weed out such content, nor would I know how to go about it. The Canadian film industry certainly needs love, but this and some other films are questionably adjacent to the mandates. The movie is about reconnecting or accepting carnival roots in the form of being a bearded woman. It's sort of this uncomfortable coming of age movie, which may resonate with some. I like coming of age stories a lot. But the imagery here is kind of messed up. It just made me feel like I was watching some abomination. To me, this carnival lifestyle should probably be rejected. Okay. Some people I know are comfortable with these roots, and there is a difference to me between acceptance and embrace of something. We can move on and feel not shame while still not liking something. The movie is cool, but it's glaringly bizarre in a kind of bad way. It's cool, but not that cool. I like it, but also will be fine to not think about it too much going forward. But it did animate an impression in me, so something's going on. And I guess like what I say is like an abomination or it's sort of weird to look at. It's more just the uncomfortable family dynamics, and that's the root of it. It's not a me being a transphobe, okay? But I'm sure it comes across like that. But now that I read that, maybe I'll edit that later. Anyways, The Well. I think it's safe to say now there is a Canadian approach to the post-apocalyptic genre. Obviously, George Miller really laid it down in Australia. America does their thing with it as well. But in Canada, we don't have lavish budgets to play with. Normally, and our post-apocalyptic movies are generally tied to the environment, and they show people making difficult decisions cerebrally. This movie, The Well, is another example of that. One thing that will pop out to you and remain consistent is the dreamy way it is shot. It feels like a very dire dream, aware of itself the whole time. The dynamic at first is we have 3 family members living off the grid, but very quickly a mysterious 4th individual comes into the dynamic, forever altering the mundane yet safe routine. This bizarre cult emerges and everything shifts towards that. There is a memorably wicked cult leader, and the environment becomes more ratchet and like a cult created in a trailer park in a post-apocalyptic setting additionally. Sometimes the movie lags, and my interest was not 100% there, but there are cool performances and a unique presentation of a post-apocalyptic scenario. So basically, I really enjoyed the experience. I think I appreciate this more intellectually than emotionally. I still like it though. Yeah, so I like this one slightly more than this one, but they're both solid. And now we get really good. Or obviously with the fours, we got how many? We got several fours, and then we go to 4.5. So it just kind of keeps getting better and better. All right, I really enjoyed the movie Foreigner. Coming of age stories are great, and I've been oops, what the heck am I doing? Hold the Fort is like Sinners in that it felt like to me it was channeling from Dusk Till Dawn. It's just this version is more about the fun than the folklore. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I enjoyed the antique space horror movie. There was a lot of excitement here, some really funny lines, and an over the top acting style that felt very suitable. If you wanted to be pensive for a film, this is the wrong one. But if you're trying to kick back and relax, then you came to the right address. This cursed property produces a lot of insane fun. The sense of community is fun here. Yes, the group gets considerably peeled down throughout the film's duration, yet there is a sense that everyone is essentially in it together. It is kind of uplifting for a film with witches and zombies in terms of tone, but also the mentioned feeling of community being pulsed throughout the movie. It's something you might notice, but you might not notice, but it is there. The movie at first seemed too silly to me, but by the end, I was fully invested in the experience. It's fun. It's cute. It has something else going on besides being profoundly profound. It's just a good time. All right. I look at this. I got a like for this already. Foreigner. I really enjoyed the movie Foreigner. Coming of age stories are great, and I've been lucky enough to know some Iranian women as of late, so I can sort of see them in this tale. We get a teenage girl growing up in Canada, coming from Iran, and experiencing culture shock. Her father is very strict, and she is unfamiliar with the customs of her new home. With that, these teenage white girls sort of treat her and indoctrinate her, and they seem quite sinister on the low, on a Jordan Peele's Get Out sort of vibe. I think that the offbeat, sinister, and malevolent tone of the teenage girls is great. And you can see how it's confusing given that the father character has no clue how to react to any of this. The horror element is quite strong. It is strong enough to satisfy, but not so brutal that it'll scare away newbie teens or tweens who are relatively new to the horror genre, or who are new to the horror genre. I think that's a great strength. The tone, pace of the story, and acting are really superb here. It's proof that Canada can create excellent horror. I'd even be interested in picking up where we left off for a sequel. Huh? Maybe it'll happen. Lucid. The movie Lucid is wild. It has great production design, acting, and it's quite the relatable tale. It's all about an inspiring artist, and the film looks at the sacrifices one has to make to be an artist. The fact is, it takes hard work, and there's no shortcut around that. You can't think yourself into being an artist. You can spend time engaging with the past greats, but you have to be in motion to make moves. We see a young artist attempt to find her spot in the world. She's a painter, and at first, she submits something weak to her class and gets told that she may not be good enough. We then see her working at a fast food joint. The whole approach to the movie's visual is key. It is chaotic and expressive antagonists. There are a lot of wild visual sequences here, the best being saved for the end. It's the message and even a warning of dedication here. Either one commits to life or the attempt was wasted. People will judge you for the art life, and if you don't produce, maybe they are correct in doing so. The movie is like a contemporary version of Herschel Gordon Lewis's Color Me Blood Red, except it actually has a message that makes a lot of sense. It's got a lot going on, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, especially near the end of the movie. Okay. Got a few more here. How many more do we have here? We got one. Oh, we're the 4.5s. Okay, we got 4 more. Oh my god. Ooh. Hellcat for me is pure cinema. It borders on absolute cinema. It's the kind of cinema I adore, the best to stumble upon with medium expectations. The glorious release satisfaction of finding something like this is a gift. It starts off as a concept movie of sorts. A woman is locked up in a trailer and somehow can't get out. An ominous voice tells her through a such wolf head, but we are wondering what the heck is happening here for a good bit. Then things evolve naturally into a tale that is plausible given the genre bent and the horror angle, but I bet it will still surprise you enough as well. It is placed behind the familiar, but still a revelation. I liked how mean-spirited and senselessly cruel things start off, and then the logic drips out slowly but surely. I wish more movies in general could offer a sweet release that Hellcat offers, with a great title, script, and acting as well. I was really into the few characters we got to focus on, and I love when spooky movies like that. Movies just have a few central cast members. So get hyped for this one. Keep an eye out for it when it's on a release, when it's released theatrically to you, near to you, ideally, or just watch it when it hopefully lands on a cool streaming site like Shudder or Tubi. Nothing's cooler than Tubi, though. Death Does Not Exist is an obvious must-watch. It played at the Cannes Film Festival, for gosh sakes. And now it's making its move. It's making moves over to Fantasia Fest appropriately. This is a Quebec production. It's an animation, which looks great, and it has a difficult moral philosophy within it, which is as rewarding by the end as it is perplexing by the end. This is a movie to dwell on. The animation is dreamy, contemporary. If you follow animation on the circuit, the film festival circuit, you know the kind of vibe. It's like the rotoscoping and waking life, but decades later with new context. It's time we get a home invasion. Things happen one way, then another. The movie has a very violent beginning, then it is subdued, then we return to the violence with a new context and a new meaning begins to emerge before it's wrapped up. It's a trippy, cerebral affair, but also not a time waster. It proposes a new understanding of reality without being a boring lecture of a movie. If you've got 80 minutes to play with, and you've got something to say, you've got to lead. You've got to be lean. I can't think of a better kind of movie coming from Canada. It will make us proud on the international film circuit scene. So we better celebrate it a lot when it comes to us at a Canadian institution like Fantasia Fest. Also, shout out to the Ottawa International Animation Fest. It's going to play there, as I almost said here, because I'm in Ottawa. Anyways, it's coming to Ottawa, and it'll be released theatrically in September. So, widely, that is. Yeah, blah. All right, 2 more reviews. I enjoyed All Jacked Up and Full of Warrants that played at Fantasia Fest back in 2022. So when I read about the director's follow-up film, it sounded better, and it ended up being better. It's not perfect. I feel like the last film, it must course correct and justify things morally or from a happier angle, and it's my wish that some things in cinema remain unapologetic and grimy. But the movie is quite grimy for much of it. A food delivery guy is a sex worker for men and women alike, and he goes on quite a journey in the film. Things go from ideal, he's good at his job, people enjoy his company, to grisly. Well, let's just say something goes down, and now he's suspect. He's got to figure out some things, and time is working against him. The setup for this movie was a lot of fun, and where it goes is believable, and how it wraps up is fine. The whole look is great. It was shot on film, and will be projected out at Fantasia Fest on film. I like that it is a smut movie. I like that we follow characters like this. I like that it is shot on film. I like that it's being played at Fantasia Fest, and I like that there will be a cool Vinegar Syndrome release of this eventually. Maybe next spring. I might have heard that from a reliable source. Okay, one more. I always gave this 5, but we get no 5 so far for Fantasia Fest 2025. Anyways, the animated movie Dog of God is a feast for the eyes and the mind for the historically curious or just fans of quality cinema. I thought this would be really good, and it surpassed my high expectations. We get a tale from the 17th century that is very focused on the religious element of the time, and it is largely critical of it. But we do get a mystical aspect of witchcraft, a werewolf, and the depiction of alcoholism, which the church here is against. It also comes from Latvia, and it is spoken in their native tongue and has scenes where a guy like Hitler is tortured amongst everything else. He looks like Hitler, sorry. This is far from a tame animation to pop on for the kids. I like its anti-conformist stance and its highly critical form of religion. It's okay to be suspicious of such an organization, especially with what they are known to have done to children. This movie might offend Christians, to be honest, though. I like the look of the movie. It's very colorful and manic. It has a great final showdown shot and a pulsing feeling throughout its duration, even if the story lulls occasionally. The film premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival, then made its way to Fantasia Fest. If you like historical movies from Europe that have both a critique of religion and arresting imagery, then look no further than Dog of God. There you go. You got 9 reviews from me. 9 reviews. Look at this. So far, I've got I think it's just as many or just a couple of more reviews in Fantasia Fest than TIFF. That'll possibly change, though, in a month or so. But right now, Fantasia Fest, my most reviewed film festival. Dog of God, Anything That Moves, Death Does Not Exist, and Hellcat. They're my God tier, 4.5 stars. And then how many 4 stars we got? We got Lucid, Foreigner, and Hold the Fort. So we've got 3, and then we got 2 3.5s with The Well and The Bearded Girl. So I stay positive, but I keep it real. Anyways, it's been fun doing this stream. I've got various other things to do today, though. and I can't be babbling to you all day. It's been fun, though. I will, though, come at you with 8 more reviews for the New York Asian Film Festival tomorrow, and you'll have an interview with someone from a film you haven't heard about yet, called Shrimp Fried Rice. It's a short film. And then what's coming next? Well, heck, you gotta watch the video on Sunday to find that out. Peace out, y'all.